Hi all, Geoff Coughlin here, back again with our 737-800, and so the wings are on, fuselage is all prepped, a little bit of rescribing here across a couple of these panel lines. Okay, so the fit of the wings to the fuselage isn't that brilliant, to be honest. Took quite a lot of faffing about. You probably saw in the still images I used a couple of bits of sprue cut to length to just slightly spread the fuselage to help the join, but still we've ended up with a bit of a step here, to say the least, which you can probably see, which is a bit of a pain. This isn't too bad around the back end. It's a little bit rough and ready, but that's easy enough to clean up. A bit tricky here, need to do a bit of fine work to make sure that fits. So you can see here, you get a perfect fit on one side and it's out of alignment on the other. The main problem is probably this, which is this section here that should have sat square and flat with the wing, but I just couldn't get it to sit down despite what was going on inside, and moving it and all the rest of it. So I've settled for that, but now we've got to get rid of a tricky sort of, I don't know, what would you call that, a big ridge thing going on here at the center of the wing root, which is a bit of a faff to say the least. Not too bad on the other side, still there, but it's much less, and so that shouldn't take so much to come out. So this then made me think, okay, so how are we going to deal with that then? Okay, so you can find some wet and dry, and you can find some paper and all the rest of it to try and get in there. But a little while ago, I did buy a new tool. Thought, well, it might be just the sort of thing that might be useful for this kind of situation, really, I suppose. And it's this DSPIAE sort of sander, really, I suppose. A precision, what do they call it? A reciprocating sander is what they actually call it. Comes in a big, nice sort of fancy smooth box. Now, anyone who's seen these DSPIAE products before will know that they are very good, very high quality, which is good. It can be a bit pricey, but I managed to get this for a decent price, which is good. And essentially what we've got here is the main tool here, which is the main body, rechargeable. There we go. Oh, and surprise, you've got a variable speed oscillating kind of head here, onto which you can add any one of these different heads. Now this particular set is really neat because it comes in this rather smart box over here. The sander itself goes in here, recharging cable, and then we've got all these different shaped heads, everything from kind of nice pointy end to get into those little crevices, right the way through to this head, which I've just selected here, which I think might do the trick for our job, right the way through to kind of V-shaped ones, and slightly bigger, squarer pads on the end there, and so on and so forth. And then we've even got curved ones here, which is very neat, really, I think. So I'm hoping it should be fairly sort of straightforward, and we just pop our appropriate head on here. But then, of course, we need to attach some or the appropriate sanding pad to that. And this particular pack, I can't remember whether this came with it. I think it did, but then I also bought an additional packet over here as kind of spares, really, which I'll leave over here. But essentially what you've got is a nice range of variable grades of sanding pads from here, from 180, 280, right the way through to these different grades, 600, 1000, 800, and so on, 400, and so on and so forth, as you can see. Now I'm guessing, and I'm just wondering, no, that's just a repeat pack. So we could probably use our sponge sander to get the final effect, just to remove any final scratches. But the key thing with this thing is I think it should be able to deal with the donkey work, and that's really why I've kind of gone for it. So right, let's find then an appropriate grade. Well, I'm not interested in these finer grades. I think they are much too fine for our job. 400 is seems quite rough. Should we give that a go? See how we go on. Got one there. And essentially all they are is they're just they're neatly here. I just pull this off here, and you just pull it off, and it's there. And I'm assuming we just peel the back off. It should be sticky backed. That's my thought. I'm now immediately thinking it might have been easy just peel this off. Oh, here you go. Yeah, there you go. That's all right. Try to keep your fingers off it, I would think. Use the tweezers to then just locate that squarely onto, there you go, onto the head as such. So let's get the box out of the way, get all this other faff out of the way, and we can just have a look and see. So I've no idea, I've never used this before. I've literally just taken it out so we can have a little look. So I'll try and so first of all, let me just get a dry run, just try and get this, work out how we might do it. So it's going to be probably a bit of a, try and get as close as we can here, and then we might come in on the other side, yeah, to do that side there. Right, let's give it a go. So fingers crossed. So we'll do it on the initial speed. Oh, here we go, let's have a look. I'm not putting much pressure on that at all. Okay, so I just slightly press down on that. That's almost coming to a stop. So I'm thinking probably what I need to do is probably charge the thing a bit more. But because that doesn't have an awful lot of power as such so far. But you get the idea. So how about I do that? Go away, charge it, let's come back with a bit more. Come back with a little bit more power, I think, because we're not getting too far with that as it is. Yep, let's just charge that a bit more and we'll see how we go. Okay, right, back soon.